The priesthood is described by St. Thomas Aquinas as a living instrument in the hand of God. Not one that he was forced to choose, but the one that he desired. And so a vocation is born by Christ choosing someone and lifting that man with his own consent into his hand, and it's an instrument that he never lets go of.
And a vocation to the priesthood is never about just the man. A vocation to the priesthood is about serving the life of the church. So a vocation to the priesthood requires the love of God, not only for the individual who's discerning, but the love of God that he has for his people.
Seminarians and vocations are always very positive because it's forward-looking, it's about the future, and it's very easy to be excited about young men potentially giving their lives in service for the church and service to our Lord and to all the lay faithful who are here in the diocese.
It's a cooperation between God and man. It's us doing our part by praying for vocations and supporting the young men and saying, you could be a good priest. Have you ever thought about that? Because most of us never see it in ourselves first. It requires somebody else to look at us and say, you'd be a good priest. It's because of those interactions with the faithful, with the seminarians, with the priests of our diocese, that more and more young men are responding.
If we want to have sufficient priests for the future of our growing diocese, we have to pay attention to promoting and encouraging vocations to the priesthood.
Lay people are very important to encouraging vocations, most especially parents. It's so very important that parents do what they can to protect their children from the terrible influences in our world today. But at the same time, teach your children how to love God.
A child should be raised in a home where the faith is ubiquitous. The faith is an everyday reality. It's like the air we breathe. This context creates the best context for a young person to be able to discern God's will.
It's a great blessing, I think, to have fathers and mothers and grandparents who are supporting vocations in the diocese. I'm convinced that those of us who are called will never be as fulfilled in any other place, any other vocation.
In my parish, we pray a lot for vocations, and I was just reminding them, look, your prayers work. You have prayed for vocations, you have asked the master of the harvest to send laborers into the vineyard, and surprise, he does. It works.
I think the beautiful thing about it is the parish really embraces the seminarians. They pray for them, they encourage them. The seminarians also can promise to pray for them, and they do that. And they take them into their intentions every single day because they know that they'll be serving them one day. It's a very mutual relationship. It's one that I think brings a certain vitality to the parish because the parish is giving life to new vocations, which in the end will support the church for decades to come.
This seminary stands in the heart of a new culture of vocations, which is developing and spreading throughout the diocese, and is a beacon to help other young people to have the courage not to be afraid, but to have the courage to respond to the Lord's call for their life.
It is said that if a diocese can produce these special vocations to the consecrated life and to the priesthood, is a sign of the vitality of the diocese. So it's a good sign that we do have many vocations being produced in our diocese.
I suppose anyone is inspired when they see young people follow in their path, doing what they chose to do, especially something like the priesthood, which is now often revered, especially by young people. And so when I see them and I see what they're looking at through their eyes, it's just unparalleled. I'm inspired, I'm humbled, and I'm grateful.
These are great young men who have grown up in a very confused world, but nonetheless have found the light of Christ in their life, and through all the noise of this modern world have found the whisper of the Lord's voice with their vocations. and there's every reason to hope for a bright future for the church in the Diocese of Charlotte.